what is it, the 11th, 12th? Let me see something. Is it it's the 12th, yeah. Yeah, happy Saturday, everybody. Strange times, I hope everybody is doing well. My hearts go out to the people in Texas, that, I mean, I don't know, what did they say? It's probably going to be up to 300 lives, maybe half children, something, a good amount of them, something like 80, or I can't even keep counting anymore, y'all. But very, very bad times. And yeah, but I don't want to start off with that. I want to end off with that. But yeah, this video is about Jeffrey Epstein, somebody I've been talking about for quite some time. We had a lot of people up on this, when I was doing the lives and hopping people up, giving different perspective on Epstein, on Trump. Yeah, I used to cater to, I used to like to have open talks where people get a chance to express their views. And I'm really glad that I did, because it's pretty much documented how people think. It's what you call anthropology, when you give people a chance to tell you what their real views are, you get to hear them. But of course, everybody doesn't have the same views. But it's some very interesting times now. And one of the things that's hopped back up in the middle of the Trump, 6 months, 7 months now, is Jeffrey Epstein. Yes. MAGA people have had enough time. They ran on this. They really supported Trump because they thought Trump was going to drain the swamp. That's what these people said. They had all kinds of conspiracies. I don't blame you for picking up on some conspiracies, because, like I told people many a times, the United States is under attack with disinformation and coordinated disinformation from foreign intelligence with local propaganda, right wing arms being happy to spread it because it gave them an inroad to the White House and to power. But some people are very short sighted with power, don't respect power, don't even understand what power is. They think they want it, but then when they get it, they find out, if you're not a true a person that's supposed to yield that sword, that sword could easily be turned on you. And I think a lot of MAGA people are finding that out right now. But in any case, Trump ran on the platform that he was going to expose the Epstein files. Ooh, the Dems, y'all, the Dems, Hillary Clinton drinking blood on Epstein Island. We finally going to get somebody that just tells us what it is. That's what a lot of these people thought, literally. And no, I did not drag it out of their mouth. They volunteered it themselves. People had all types of conspiracies, all types. And again, this goes back to critical thinking skills. When when the election was going on, people said one of the main differences between Dems and Republicans, or others, people that supported Trump and people that support Kamala, or the Democratic platform versus the MAGA platform, is education. And I would try to connect education to rational thinking, critical thinking skills, not what you believe, not what you want to believe, not what your heart, not something like, this person beat you up last year and now you hate all people that look like that. No, not your heart, not what you want to be real, but what just is real, going through the information fairly and yourself. And oh yes, Sister Medea. What's up, Sister? I'm glad you're here, because Lord knows, these people, they really swinging that sword around crazy right now, and I feel for everybody. Injustice is a injustice to all. Injustice to some is an injustice to all. But let me get back to this. So now that Trump is in office, they've had 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, 5 months, 6 months. Now it's going on the seventh month. And lo and behold, for some reason, they just don't want to release those Epstein tapes. And you know something? Epstein files, Epstein tapes, Epstein pictures in the thousands. in the thousands. I mean, whatever happened to wanting to catch Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton drinking blood on the island? You don't want that? It disappeared for some reason. No one's talking about that because it's Trump's appointees themselves that are caught in lies. And see, the thing is that sometimes it's better to say nothing than to say anything at all because at least you save yourself a little bit of wiggle room. But of course, that's not what Trump did. Trump's appointees went down. They put their foot down and lies about it that only make you think. I mean, in my view, it's really, really telling. First of all, I said this over a year ago. I said this very clearly. I don't know. I may have been one of the first propaganda, I'm sorry, YouTube, what do you call this? Personalities or whatever people that actually was saying that Trump just making it very clear that whatever you think about Epstein, understand he died while Trump was the president. Legacy media wasn't promoting that. I said it many times. For me, that is the first clue. That was the first clue. Epstein dies when Trump is in office. If you wanted to expose Epstein, you wouldn't kill him, right? He wouldn't die. You would protect him, right? Isn't that what you would do? He's your main witness, right? Yeah, come on, Epstein. Let's talk about the Dems. Let's talk about Hillary drinking blood. Let's do that. But instead, he dies. Where's Trump from? New York City. Clue two. Epstein died in New York, a New York prison. Not a South Philly prison, not a Louisiana prison, not a Los Angeles prison, not a Washington D.C. prison. We don't really have them there, but not a Connecticut. Not a liberal. Well, I guess you could say New York is liberal. It's kind of liberal and liberal. It's more liberal conservative mix, right? But Trump is from New York, so that's clue two. Now that he's been in office 7 months, now they have had a chance to show you not only are they not going to release them, but they show you they are going to lie and cover up Epstein. It's not that they're just not releasing it, they're involved in a clear cover up. And had they not been able to win the White House, you wouldn't be able to see that. People would still be talking about Hillary drinking blood on Epstein Island. Straight up. Had they not had a chance to be in power, people would never see this. They would still be talking about the Dem platform that wanted you to have health care and education and a fair wage, a union job, all those good things. People would still be talking about it in a derogatory manner. But now, guess who's in power? Trump. And what did Trump do? He's out there bombing Iran. You didn't want that. He's out there supporting Israel. I thought you didn't want that. I thought you was tired of that, MAGA people. MAGA people swore on their families' graves that Trump would stop all of that. And I tried to tell people, this is foreign policy. This is bigger. U.S. foreign policy is bigger than what a lot of people think. It's the reason why the U.S. has the number one GDP, or did before Trump. That is the reason. So you could cut back on that. But what does that have to do with domestic policy? Your domestic policy could have been on point the whole time. It could still be on point around Trump. But what's Trump doing? Plummeting domestic policy. All those things you thought were good these things ain't good enough. I get Medicare, but it's not good enough. I get this, but it's not good enough. They keep talking about this, but that's not good enough. How come they don't do something? The Supreme Court of the United States, I said this many times, everything that Biden administration, so in terms of social justice, yes, social justice, everything they passed through the Congress to try to get back some social justice, some get back. The farmers bill, all the black farmers were discriminated against. Biden and them passed the American Act, right? To get that money out to those farmers that were denied due to discrimination. And what did the Supreme Court do? Six right-wing Supreme Court justices shut it down. So there were many things that they tried to do. Student debt relief, they tried to shut it down. They did shut it down. They said, no, you can't have social justice on student debt relief either, y'all. We ain't going to give it to you. So the courts shut it down. So all those things that people were frustrated about, like, the Dems, they ain't good enough for me, man. What about Trump? Is Trump good enough for you? How you like Trump? How do you like Trump? And before you have the nerve to even try to find one thing you like about Trump, and I wish, I wish I had that little red man clip that was like, I'll slap the out of you. Because I used to have that when I was doing the live streaming. I'd have these little clips where, it would get my point across. But before you do that, talking about one thing you like about Trump, first of all, my heart goes out to the people that have died, more people that have ever died in a simple thing like flooding. Flooding. No matter what your color, your religion, your race, your creed, your ethnicity, my heart goes out to the people that died, old and young. But back to this Trump thing again, and this Epstein thing again. People's tried to say they find one thing about Trump. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say it's ICE. It's ICE. Let me tell you, African Americans, you should be you should be picking up your guns right now. I'm serious. And I'm not saying to shoot people. I'm saying to let ICE know you have the legal power to carry these bad boys. And the reason why I'm saying this is because you should understand you are a target too. You just may not get it. People that don't have critical thinking skills may not totally get all the details and how that could be. Now, here's why. All you have to do is research ICE. Number one, for all you people that think ICE or African Americans, and it's a significant group that think that ICE is out here doing the job for you, let me tell you something. ICE hires dual citizens. Yes, dual citizens. That means people with other nationalities work for ICE. That means also ICE, not only do they hire dual citizens, right, but they also hire naturalized citizens. That means people that come from other countries that have obtained the same people they claim to be hunting down. They hire them. So all those negative things that you said about these people, these other people, these foreigners, these immigrants, well, why is ICE hiring them? You said they wasn't your friends when they were just regular folk, but what about when they're ICE? Secondly, here's the thing, and don't get me wrong, I'm not into this pointing out things because I told people plenty of times my family on both sides comes from the beginning of the country. Okay, that means for real. The War of Independence, the Civil War, for real, not for fake. So I don't really point fingers at migrants and things like that. People are all the same to me. And we should be smarter than that if you know your history, especially regarding Americans, Central Americans, South Americans, Caribbeans. We are the same damn people. Outside of our language, we have the same history. We could be related by blood. So these are the last people we should be picking on, right? But here's the thing. ICE, not only do they hire naturalized citizens, the ones that obtain citizenry from and used to be citizens of other countries, they also hire dual citizens, and they do not release the information on where these people come from. They do not. They don't release any information on the ethnicities of the people they arrest or detain or deport. You have to understand that. So if your black American ass or African American ass ends your ass up on a plane, which has happened, there was one African American guy while Trump was in office last time, he was detained for 3 years. No one even fucking knew. Because these things don't get out because they don't release the information on who they detain, who they're deporting. Understand this. But there's more to this. They yeah, they don't give you any information like that. ICE doesn't. So you really don't know who they're picking up. They're picking up people with impunity. Now here's another thing. This issue about ICE. And this thing about wearing the mask. Listen, y'all, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. You do not have to stop for anyone that is not revealing who they are clearly. And think about this, just showing up in your town and saying ICE, that's not identification. You know why? Because when they come to you and ask you to identify yourself, they don't give a fuck if you just say, hey, I'm African American. They don't consider that. Your announcement about who you are is not good enough. Don't you understand that? It's not good enough. You can't just say, I'm American, and you walk away. Hell no, they don't want to hear that. They want your ID. And even in cases where you have their ID, they don't even be believing your ass. That's what has been documented that has been going on. You should never accept someone just showing up in your face saying ICE. You should never accept it. They're hiding their faces for the same reason all other criminals hide their faces. They don't want to be held accountable for the people that they have wrongfully detained and deported. Loads of black folk, loads of brown folk, and they are not looking for any other people. Asians, brown, you can say Asians of color, you know, yo, the color range except one, minus one. They're not looking for those people. They're not looking for, and again, I don't agree with this type of thing because the Dems had a comprehensive immigration reform bill on the table, but way before Trump was president. Trump told them to not do it. So comprehensive, real reform Republicans didn't want. They wanted this moment to be able to go around with their Ku Klux Klan mask on and terrorize people, just remind you of the wrong they can commit in the same country where masked people terrorize folks. Yo, I'm just saying, y'all, don't fall for the okey doke. And what I am saying is 100% legit. Why? Because I look into stuff before I talk shit on the internet. That's all, nothing special. Critical thinking, something white people do all the goddamn time. You should try it if you haven't. You know what I'm saying? Something Jewish people do all the goddamn time. Something other people, all kinds of people do this now. Don't blame me for being who I am and using critical thinking skills, investigating, looking stuff up myself. Like straight up. So understand this. You do not have to stop for someone who does not identify themselves clearly and in full detail, just like they want you to do. That's all it is. Prove it wrong. Prove it wrong. How do you expect someone else to identify themselves when you can't even do it? That doesn't work in a court. Abba, Your Honor, I didn't have my ID. Well, this person didn't have their ID. God damn it! You're gonna lose that. I didn't. You didn't have the warrant. You didn't have the papers to show who you are. You didn't. You covered your face. You didn't have a badge number. You didn't have a superior officer they could talk to. You didn't have any way of validating who they were. They said they were American citizen. You couldn't validate who that was on the scene. You couldn't call the state they were from. You couldn't do it in any other way. Abba. No, they will lose that every time. So please don't go for the okey doke with this. This for African Americans got to be really scary because we lived in a time where people really did run around with masks trying to stop our human and civil rights. Really, in reality, on that land where you stand, in reality, we had to live through people terrorizing us with masks. I'll be damned. In 2025, you're supposed to think that's legal? That's totally illegal. And a lot of times you're going to find out that things don't, There's a lot of people that know it's illegal before it goes into court because they have so many cases already resolved and precedent through the courts on that. Just because the media is not just calling it flat out illegal, it's because we must be the ones who call it out as illegal from the jump. We're supposed to have enough sense to know that's goddamn illegal. And the people that should know that the most are goddamn African Americans. People that were victims of the KKK running around in hoods, covering their face, masking their identities because they work in the police department. They work in other, it's just shame. It's just shame. No proud patriot of the United States of America covers their goddamn face. Nobody that is a patriot is ashamed of what they're doing. But if you're not ashamed, uncover your face. Criminals, they cover their face because they don't want to be held accountable for their crimes. You likely are doing the same, ICE. And in fact, if you're just following the order because someone told you to do it, you're goddamn dumb. I would question, how American are you? Now, keep in mind, going back to my initial statement in the beginning, and I'm going to cut this short, this thing about ICE detaining people and the IDs and the fact that they hire dual citizens, they hire naturalized citizens. That very well could mean in a lot of cases that the people that are detaining American citizens, even if they say it's on accident, are people that have less roots in the United States than you. What sense would that make? What sense would that make? Not just the United States of America, but the Americas. That's also an offense. So, anyway, I hope everybody's doing good. I've been doing good. I'm doing some other things, but I just wanted to just say hello to everybody, and let everybody know I'm still here. I'm watching everything. It's very sad. I feel sorry for my country, man. I feel sorry for my country. I'm not a racist. I don't care what your background is. If you cool, you cool. If you've done something legitimate to lift the standing of others in the country, you cool with me. If you've done something to bring peace to others, to bring a fair, to be fair, to treat others fairly, you cool with me. You see what I mean? Do what you do. Thank you. You see, and I think it's very important that a lot of Americans grab onto that, particularly African Americans too. Don't let Trump and them think that everybody is against you. No, everybody is not against us. Everyone's not against us. We know who is with us because the history tells us. And if the history is not broad enough, we have enough intelligence to dig in and research it ourselves to know. We see the deeds. And by the way, if you don't see the deeds, it's your goddamn fault. If you don't see the deeds when they're being done, it's your damn fault because you are supposed to man up and woman up in these times. Mediocrity is your fault. You don't need a high school education to not be mediocre at research. You can master the English language without going to formal school. You can learn how to read and research without going to formal school. Mediocrity is mediocrity. And I'm not saying you shouldn't get the benefit of your tax dollars. No, we all should because that's how the society has been set up. That's what we're to expect. Why pay taxes if it can't benefit you in education, housing, these kind of things, right? Um, but child care, elder care, why do that, right? Where's the taxes going to if it ain't going to that, right? But at the same time, you have a responsibility to not be a goddamn fool to save your own ass, at least, at the very least. And that requires research, a mastery of some things. Donnie, what's up, bro? What's that about? Oh, King, yeah, there you go. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, you too, King. And you too, Queen. Out there, all of y'all out there. Yeah, for those that's going to catch the video later, I'm still here. I appreciate everybody, but not only do I just appreciate everybody, I hope others are getting the message, because right now we need people that's just going to spit the facts and that have some love in their heart and without the hate for things that just, you doesn't really matter. I mean, you can hate MAGA all you want. Without a plan, you ain't going to do a goddamn thing about them. And by the way, one of the things you might want to do is educate their dumbasses because they people too. They're not always up on shit. Just like they wasn't up for they got thrown a curveball on this Epstein shit. I mean, damn, how do you elect one of the main ringleaders? How do you elect a damn pedophile and you trying to fight? How do you do that? But they did, and that is what they do. How do you stop a bill, a Biden bill for infrastructure to help, fight against storms, to warn people? How do you shoot that budget down? And then when the storm hits, you claim, how do we know? How do we know? We couldn't have known. We couldn't have known. Yes, this is the kind of bullshit they coming at folks with. They coming with everybody with brokenness. Shit that doesn't work. They're just gonna keep throwing shit that doesn't work, dumbass ideas, mediocrity at people until enough people die. And then on the way out, they're gonna be like, try to concoct some new plan why it wasn't them who fucked it all up for people. The Democrats and the Republicans are not the same. There's more nuances. There's more nuances, way more nuances. Running around on horseback, hiding my face, you know, dragging, trying to rope people up like they cattle is the same. How dare you say the military in the streets is the same? How dare you say cutting off your social security, making it harder for your grandmother to get security or your uncle to get disability or whoever? How can you say that's the same? Come on, we got to do better than that. It may not have been enough. The Democrats may not have been enough, but that's not the same. By the way, United States got 80 million people that don't vote. Slap in the face to you. 80 million people is more than the people that vote for either party, Democrat or Republican. It's more of you. I mean, who how can you blame if you didn't vote? Somebody's foot should go up your ass when you try to blame somebody, really, unless you have a legitimate reason, like the laws in your state didn't allow you. People like that, I understand that, and I'm fighting for you, and I agree. But that is mediocrity. Nobody in the U.S. But then again, in the United States, things only get solved through votes. If it's not a vote, then it's through violence. So use the votes. Use it no matter what the obstacles are, no matter what the obstacles are. And before I go out, I'm just going to say this last thing. Believe in your vote. Vote. Get somebody else to vote who didn't vote. Because I'm going to tell you, everything in the U.S. can change. The U.S. can be the best country on earth in terms of social benefits for your tax dollars. It can be, but it requires two-thirds of the House, of the Senate, two-thirds of the Senate. The House, it only requires 51%, but the Senate got to back it up, and that requires two-thirds of the representatives to vote in favor of universal health care, vote in favor of free school or fair school, access to school, fair housing, elder care, these kind of things. It takes two-thirds of the Senate to get it through while having a Democrat or having a president that will sign it. And after you get that done, at the same time, two-thirds of the Senate, you need to get rid of those corrupt Supreme Court justices that took money, that took bribes. If you don't do all of those things, which require a vote, don't expect really much change at all. Just expect things to go back to the way they were, which is better than it is now, but it's not what it should be for the wealthiest country on earth. Yeah. So, having said that, I'm out, y'all. Peace. Stay alive, as you are. Obviously, some of y'all staying alive. Um, but organize with people in your communities, the best way you can, like, um, if you can, and try to help somebody else in need. Those small things go a long way. Yeah, those small things go a long way, and don't allow these people to harass you, like, because the thing about totalitarians is you give them an inch, they going to take a mile. They going to take a mile. They trying to create a new norm. Don't let it be. Don't let it be. I'm telling you. Don't let it be, because it will be something you haven't experienced in a long time. The last time people experienced this, African Americans experienced this kind of shit, is really during the civil rights era, when they would come with horses and water hoses and just spray people because they wanted to vote. Spray people because they they wanted the hatred to stop. Sick the dogs on them. That's what this is about right now. And if you think it's okay for some folks, you're basically saying it's okay for you too. Again, ICE hires dual citizens of other countries, so you don't know who all these people are. Some of them can be Nazis, and they hire naturalized citizens. These are, and I'm just saying, I'm not saying all these people are bad. I'm just saying these are the same people they claim to be looking for. And on top of it, you could be detained. An American citizen can be detained, thrown on a plane, sent to Sudan by an African American can be sent to Sudan on a plane by a person that has way less time, that hasn't even been in the nation for a life yet, a lifetime. What sense does that make for anybody? What sense does that make? And the reason why I'm saying this is because my family is from the beginning. I'll be goddamn if I'm gonna have somebody just put their hands on me, trying to question me about if I'm a goddamn American. Get the fuck out of here. Be safe, y'all. One.